Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Frost Esports Twitch channel. Tonight, we have the Snowstorm Rocket League tournament number 24. I am Starcoin Hero, and I am joined by my good friend Hud X. Hud, what's going on tonight?
Manstar, I am excited to get into these matches because this is really all that I have going on tonight. I've just been kind of waiting here since like 8:30 for these games to start, but we're just about to get into it. We've got a little bit of info just headed into this game, but the players are already here. We're ready to get going. Bedwetters and Audacity are going to kick us off. We just got a little bit of housework to get out of the way, and then we're going to be able to get right into it.
That we do. Two great teams, Bedwetters and Audacity. But before we get into that first match, we want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Latency. Latency is a tournament organizer and production company that provides various services and competitions. The competitive community, reach out today to see how we can help you at https, you know the drill, latency.com.
Big stuff, Latency here supporting us, players chomping at the bit to the point where Nick's trying to hold them back before they can join in. And we're going to jump right into this first series star. This is the, well, which one is this? Well, this is what? Winner's semis, so best of 3. And we've got 5 minutes on the clock. 6 players on the field. Bedwetters in the blue, Audacity in the orange. And to go ahead, take us away, Star.
Bedwetters versus Audacity, two teams that I'm familiar with. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with these two teams as well. And Bedwetters, we've actually seen them quite a few times in these Frost tournaments. I believe last night's tournament they did have to disqualify, unfortunately, but here they are. We've got Reveal, Jathan, and Geoids on the blue side for Bedwetters. 3 amazing players. And of course, you gotta watch out for Audacity. Gator, Sats, and Trent's 3 amazing players in their own right. And this match could go either way, but the start is going to Bedwetters. 1-0 already, 40 seconds in.
You just finished saying Geoid's name, I feel, before he slots that one in. Reveal. He's got a nice dish out there. Geoids puts it home, and Bedwetters have got themselves on top here. It's still early going here in this first game of this first series that we've had on stream. So still, a little bit of time for Audacity to be able to get their feet back underneath of them. 1 goal allowed here to Audacity, or to Bedwetters, pardon me, isn't necessarily going to sink the ship, but Audacity probably going to be looking to find an equalizer sooner rather than later.
Arn. Now Jathan with control. It's Geoids passing it over to the corner. It's actually a self pass. That's a self shot. Geoids, second goal of the game. Bedwetters are up 2-0. And how does Geoids manage that angle?
What a read. Just nasty stuff there from Geoids, and feeling pretty good starting out, pacing the field as far as score goes. Both the goals for the Bedwetters coming off of the front of Geoids. Fennec and Audacity really haven't been able to get anything going. Jathan's going to look for 3, and another clean double off the backboard is going to extend this lead for Bedwetters. It's a huge runaway start to game number 1.
And Audacity is just not having the start they want. They have not been able to get anything going right now. 1 shot to 1 save. That is Trent on the shot and Sats on the save. They have had no offensive pressure whatsoever. And as I say that, Trent almost gets the kickoff goal, but it's not quite there. That will keep Audacity scoreless as they're getting some time in the blue side. This is what they need, but so far, nothing that has really made the Bedwetters sweat. This one has some potential, but Gator gets that ball taken away from him. Jathan just going to let that one roll right on in. 4-0, Bedwetters starting to run away.
Even with the house sent, Audacity still can't keep Bedwetters pinned in, find that outlet, and find a 4th goal. You hit the nail on the head, Star. It really is just a lack of offensive pressure from Audacity, but even more than that, it's the patience from Bedwetters on defense, I think, is what Audacity's running up against right now. They're looking to try to find gaps. Audacity's trying to find those quick slicing passes into the box, but Bedwetters are just so patient on their back line. The communication looks to be completely locked in, and they have given no quarter to the Audacity attack through the first half of this first game.
They have not. They have pressed down that gas pedal and have not even considered pressing the brakes. Audacity gonna have to find a way to slow down the bedwetters because the flow just keeps on coming. As 4-0 is the score in favor of the bedwetters as we have officially reached the halfway mark of game number 1. There's still some time to come back, but you gotta get 4 in pretty rapid succession. There is Reveal looking to make that a 5th goal, but that time it is Trent that gets in the way to make that save.
I think that if you're Audacity at this point, you've got to kind of come to terms with the fact that this first game probably isn't going to go your way, but I do think that a goal would be huge here for the team in orange just to kind of get the momentum coming back their way, but Geoids is going to secure the first hat trick of the night here on stream as Jathan gets the helper off the ceiling, and what a read there from Geoids. Perfect positioning at the corner of the box, and it's 5-0 for the bedwetters.
5-2-0, and I think that goal just ended any chance at a comeback for Audacity. There's still some time, but getting 5 goals in 2 minutes after being completely abused is just not feasible, in my opinion. If you want to start this comeback, you're going to have to start getting goals now, and I'm looking at the scoreboard. The scoreboard is still 5-2-0. Jathan, Geoids, and Reveal is not letting up one bit.
Absolutely no room given, but finally Sats is going to get Audacity on the board, and really hasn't felt like we've called much of any of the Audacity players' names yet, but Gator will be there for the feed, gets the assist, and now a goal has been lodged here for Audacity. They've announced their presence in this series, but you know, is this the seal being broken for Audacity, or is that just a fluke for bedwetters? You know, is this last 90 seconds going to be a flurry for Audacity, or is it just going to be another shutdown performance from bedwetters? Trent's going to try to make it a 5-2 game, but again, the defense for Geoids comes through. Both sides of the ball have been huge for them. Strike down there, beats Gator just like that. A playmaker for Jathan, and a 4th goal for Geoids. 6-1, this one's over.
This one is over. However, possibility of the golden score line, 7-1. We might just be seeing a Brazil. One more goal for bedwetters.
You think they play for that? You think they're looking for that? They're out here really chomping at the bit to find this Brazil. I can't imagine the team that's going to be Brazil really wants to allow that 7th goal in here. But we're excited to see it happen potentially. Jathan almost gets that one by Trent. It doesn't quite make it through. Sats is going to try to find a second one to break up the Brazil and then make the Barca a possibility. Reveal out over the center of the pitch here. Self-pass to the backboard. Jathan up for it, but Gators got that one smoked. Gets it around. Geoid sat with the catch, just trying to find a little bit of room, but deleted from the pitch for his efforts. 30 seconds left for bedwetters to find a 7th goal and secure the Brazil.
They are. Audacity looking to deny it. It's Trent that gets close to it, but that does not happen. Now, final 15 seconds. Reveal gets there first. That ball's going.
Ooh.
Jathan with his ball. Oh my goodness, the back of the car secures the Brazil for the bedwetters. And just like that, unreal, Brazil has been acquired.
Secured, locked away here. Game number 1 starting with a 7-1 scoreline. It was not going to be 8-1. It was very close to it there for a moment. Might still be 8-1 as Reveal gets another 3-4-1. The goals, everybody involved for bedwetters. The first for Reveal here will make it an 8-1 scoreline with 1 second left, but I don't know what Audacity is going to do in game number 2. I do not envy their position of having to be headed into a game after getting smacked around like this.
Yeah, the confidence is not going to be there, especially after getting Braziled and then some. 8-1, the final score for game number 1. And speaking of Brazil, look at what's behind me. I changed my background up a little bit to get with the times.
It's topical, the background right now. The Brazil is something to be celebrated. I think a moment in history that we get to replay over and over again whenever we watch players and teams get absolutely smacked when they shouldn't. But Audacity, that same part of the coin is Audacity is a team that can still be able to bring themselves out of this. They've got an opportunity here in game number 2 to turn it around, but my feeling for this game that's coming up is whoever scores the first goal is going to win this. If Bedwetters score first, especially if they score early, it's over. I don't think Audacity's got a chance in the world.
I think you might be right, especially after coming off of such a domination from the Bedwetters. You're going to have to score first if you are Audacity. This is a great way to start. Trent does not get to that ball reveal. Bails his team out right there, as that could have been the first goal for Audacity, but that one just does not connect.
Oh, big
that one
save.
Almost there, but Sats is there to make that save. Bedwetters still abusing the backboard of Audacity, not letting them breathe at all. And now the pass off to reveal, and that is the first goal going to Bedwetters, and now Audacity has just been completely flattened.
And picked up right where we left off at the very end of game number 1. Game number 2 comes right back. Bedwetters find reveal this time first to get the scoring started, and it's within the first 30 seconds. Bedwetters now got control. They can do pretty much whatever it is they want, but it's not like they've really not been doing that to this point, as Jathan lobs that one out over top, forces the double commit, and now the goal is wide open. Jathan's just going to shield this one in. Reveal will get credit, and a second goal there. Bedwetters looking like it's just kind of free play out there, and Audacity's got to have some really huge ace up their sleeve to turn this one around at this point.
They do. We saw on the aerial shot attempt, the team bump is just getting rid of any chance that Audacity have, and that just makes it even worse. Yeah, you think it hurts you? Imagine being the player. That was so close, but it was a little bit too high, especially after you've been struggling the entire series to get anything on the board. Having a shot go off the bar and out like that absolutely kills any mentality that you have.
Yeah, it's just tough to be able to put yourself in the headspace to be able to find all the things that you're used to. You start doubting yourself. You start second-guessing yourself. You hesitate for a moment, and Geoids removes you from the pitch. It does not matter what you're doing because Bedwetters have got you locked down. Even when you feel like you're safe, you are not, as Geoids comes in from behind. It takes the last defender out, and well, there's a little bit of salt in the chat. Bedwetters are not letting Audacity win this with poison tact, for lack of a better word here. Audacity know that they're getting smacked around, and Bedwetters are making sure that they're aware of it. They're going to keep pouring it on as they find some more space in the offensive zone. Geoids with a pass out to reveal. The shot's there, but Trent turns it away, and Sats can't get it out either. But still, Bedwetters continue to just incur more free real estate in the orange end.
All of the free real estate is there. That one got my words slipped up. I was anticipating the goal, and then it happened. I just did not know what to do. Jathan with the goal, and the chat predictions are looking real nice right about now. 100% of the vote going to Bedwetters. I think that's what's going to happen. I think Bedwetters is taking this serious. I don't think Audacity is going to bring this back.
Yeah, I would love to be able to sit here and hope out for the huge underdog story here in this series, but then the kind of silver lining to the fact that this series has gone very cleanly is Jathan finds that one on the end from Geoids for a 5th goal. The other part of this for Audacity is that they're not out if they lose this. They're not done. They drop down in the lower bracket. They have 1 life left if they can't find some way to somehow magically become a better or a different team, a better matchup for this Bedwetters side, which, generally doesn't happen mid-series, but it could happen after one series, and if Audacity find a way to fight their way back to a grand final after getting dropped down to a lower bracket, we could see a different outcome in a rematch, but it might, right now it's definitely it's a pretty strong push for Bedwetters, and if I was Audacity, I would not want to play them again if it came to that.
Yeah, I definitely would not either, because the shots just keep coming. They're not going to stop. Bedwetters are going to keep the pain coming, and Audacity is just taking each shot, and there's nothing they can do about it. 6-0 now is the score line, and with that goal, I think the Bedwetters have just secured the series.
I mean, they secured the series with the first goal of this game. Like, that the first goal of this game was the bed winner, as reveal the musty flip reset bar down here, literally just completely undefended. I really don't know what else there is to do at this point. I guess we can start scoring goals that like scoring them 1 to 10 like a freestyling competition for whenever Bedwetters puts one in. I would give that one an 8. They're going to allow that one in. We get another Brazil off the kickoff, and we've got Audacity leaving the server. Bedwetters crushing the Spirit to the point where we're not even get to see the end of this game.
Are you serious? The Bedwetters let the Brazil come through. That is absolutely unbelievable. Yes! I love it! Oh my god, Bedwetters. Don't go for the kickoff. They let the goal come through so they can get that 7-1 scoreline. Bedwetters take the series. 2 Brazils in a row. Absolutely unbelievable.
And they're going to make it. Oh, no, never mind. They're going to score on themselves here. 7-2 for Audacity with no players in the pit, in the lobby. I am not of the opinion that we need to stay in this game, but it's not my decision at the end of the day. There's 1 minute and 36 seconds left on the clock, and we're going to back out here and get moving on into our next matchup. Congratulations to Bedwetters. Very, very clearly the better team in this matchup, but back-to-back Brazils over top of Audacity to move on to the grand finals. Brazil continues to get some love here on the stream for all of the wrong reasons, as I'm sure as a country they would really, really love to move past that. But it's fine. We're going to keep reminding them of it for the rest of time because it's funny. And getting to see 2 back-to-back is especially funny. But now we've got a little bit of a break, pardon me, as I don't think that there's a whole lot more. Do you have any other analysis for that matchup that we just finished, Star?
I have no analysis. I'm just a very happy camper.
Yeah,
I got to see 2 Brazils in a row, and I got nothing else to say. Bedwetters are on to the winners finals. 2-0. Not even close. And that's it for the series. Like, Bedwetters won in a very dominant fashion.
I think that is kind of where we can leave it. I don't think we need to beat the dead horse of the dominant win that they just had. So we're going to go to a quick break as we wait for our next matchup to be ready. I believe we're going to be headed into the winners final next. We're still waiting on that lower bracket or the lower matchup here. Absolute Units or Cosmosis Esports still finishing up their match. As soon as they're done, we're going to be back with that winners final. So don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to the Frost Esports stream. We are here bringing you a number 24 Snowstorm weekly tournament. My name's HUDX. I've got Starcoin Hero with me here. We've got another match coming up here, Star, and we have no clue what's gonna happen here.
That we don't, of course. The match we just saw, Bedwetters versus Audacity, 2-0 in favor of the Bedwetters, and now they're going up against Absolute Units. So I'm not really sure what to expect here. Are we going to see another 2-0 or 3-0 since we got a best of 5? Or are we going to see a longer series? Do we think Absolute Units are going to put up a little bit more of a fight? But I can't speak. Absolute Units. Do we think they're going to put up a little bit more of a fight, or do you think it's going to be another domination?
I'm hoping that we see a little bit more of a fight put up here from Absolute Units. Bedwetters really did kind of have their way in that first game. Maybe a tougher opponent might catch them on the back foot here in the winners final, but we will have to see what they've gotten. Before we get into the pitch, just want to give a quick shout out to our partners, Overkill Labs, of the newest gaming energy company on the block. Are about to take over the scene quickly because of the quality of their products. They use ingredients clinically proven to improve gaming performance. You can try them for yourselves at overkill-labs.com/frost and use the code FROST for 10% off. So big shout outs to Overkill Labs. Players are ready. They're so ready to the point where they've been sending like emojis in chat for the last like 3 minutes as we've been trying to get into this, but there's so much energy here in this lobby. But they're on the pitch now. Bedwetters in the blue, Absolute Units in the orange. Star, take us away.
Here we go. Game number 1 of this best of 5 series. The winner of this series will be going on to the grand finals with the 1 game advantage. And of course, getting yourself in the grand final secures you at least a little bit of the prize pool. So this is a very, very big series to win.
Absolutely. It is a, like you said, it's for the whole reason why teams are out here, to be able to get a little bit of a chunk of that pool, and this is where it all starts to come into play. It was almost a great opening shift there for Absolute Units. They just couldn't quite get it done at the very end, but Soul this time is going to put it in. 1-0 for Absolute. Bedwetters have got themselves a team that's going to fight back a little bit here in this second series.
They are definitely going to fight back. They are absolutely going to fight back. Already, they have tied how many goals Audacity earned in the first series, and it has been 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a different look through here. Reveal's getting right back at it, though. Almost found that one off the flip reset. And if you think that we are way off base with saying that Bedwetters might have a team that is a better matchup for them here, please let us know with the prediction as Jathan pushes that one just a little bit high. That was the equalizer left on the pitch for Bedwetters. But Absolute Units have done what could not be done in the last series, which is put Bedwetters down a goal. And Bedwetters' offense is looking a little bit more stagnant than what we saw from them in that last series. They don't have as much space to work with. They definitely don't have as much boost. The boost game was absolutely free for Bedwetters in that first series, and now they're having to scrap after it a little bit more. And I think Absolute Units are taking advantage of all of that.
They definitely are. As there's a shot from Soul Antics with one more. It's a little bit too high, or maybe not. The bar down, and it just rolls in. Real slow roller, 25 miles per hour. Huge goal right there to double the lead. 2-goal lead now for the Absolute Units. And the Bedwetters in this series are not looking so hot. Like you said, they're having to hunt for the boost, and they're having to go out of their way to find some boost to work with.
Oh, close. I thought Antics was going to do that, but didn't. Or I thought Jathan was going to do that. Didn't quite have the angle on the redirect. It just I haven't quite been able to pin down where this is kind of coming apart for Bedwetters quite yet. It's it's very much the Antics Soul show right now for Absolute Units, as Antics has put up 4 saves on his own. So really maybe it just might be the difference between high quality scoring opportunities and low quality scoring opportunities, as Bedwetters are forced to try to find a little bit more of those low percentage shots rather than the easy open goals that they had in the last one. And that's really put this one in favor of Absolute Units. We passed halftime. It's 2-0 for Absolute Units. No goals on the board quite yet, and that one's turned away by Antics. Absolute Units have had firm control of this first game of this winners finals. Best of 5, so still a ton of time left to go. And a lot of Rocket League left to be to kind of show itself here for us.
One thing that could very possibly be happening is the Bedwetters are still riding that first series mindset, because back then it was goal after goal after goal. It just did not get easier or any easier. And now they have a little bit harder of a time. They're having to go out of their ways to find those nets. Just like that, they had to do the passing play, carry it all the way down. Geos did get that final touch on it to put themselves on the board. But last series, they didn't really have to find those. They just kind of fell right into their laps, and they just picked it up and took it on.
Yeah, it was really kind of given them in the last series, but now we've got ourselves a ball game here as Bedwetters get themselves back within one. They're looking for an outlet here. Geoids will win the 50 into the corner. Soul shuts it down pretty nicely, looking for the dunk, but well read there. Follow-up dunk by Antics almost goes all the way in. Soul couldn't quite get on the board. I feel like we've not really said Parsons' name very much as we see them here on screen for just a moment. Kind of been the glue guy holding the back line together for Absolute Units. A save and a shot to their credit, but definitely getting it done, filling in the spaces in the rotation here as it's still 2-1 with a minute left here for Absolute Units.
Jathan with a huge pop-up,
okay,
and it lands perfectly top right corner. That was really, really smooth. And just like that, Bedwetters have scored 2 unanswered and have tied game 1 up with 1 minute to go. And now Bedwetters have some momentum. Absolute Units, they have been struggling the last minute or so. And Bedwetters have been in firm control. So now Absolute Units, they might be psyching themselves out. They might be a little bit worried.
Passing play starting to come together for the Bedwetters. They're riding that offensive wave right now, but Absolute Units still with a little bit of momentum on their end. They've let 2 go, but they still on the front foot, arguably. Parsons going to be out to chase this one down. Geoids up to Jathan. Redirect to the center of the box. Soul there to read it, guide it away. Reveal now off the ceiling, just trying to find a bump on Antics. He slows him down just enough, and a 3-goal swing means that Bedwetters are back in the lead here. 30 seconds left, and game 1 has turned on a dime.
That it has. Bedwetters found the opportunity for the first goal, and they just hit that running. They hit that first goal, and they stayed in stride. 3 goals in a row. And now Absolute Units are going to be forced to come from behind with just 20 seconds to go. And it's not getting any easier. Bedwetters putting the ball deep into the orange half, making things as difficult as possible. Ooh. But it doesn't stay in the orange half for long. That's Parson finally making a name for himself, getting the pass from Antics, and it's a beautiful shot. Ties this game up, 11 seconds on the clock.
Clutch coming in there from Parson. Kind of quiet to that point, but scoring the most important goal of this game. A big dunk by Antics, maybe an opportunity here for Absolute Units to steal this win away, but a double demo at midfield is going to slow it down. Undefended doink to the backboard, reveal off Spawn is going to be able to take it down. Parson keeps it up, edge of the box, Soul dunked away, and game number 1 goes to a 3-3 overtime.
And that was almost in. Soul, I thought he was going to just end that game right then and there, but it's going to be Parson on the kickoff of all things. Parson, you were just saying that we have not been saying this guy's name a lot, and right there, back to back. Parson with 2 goals to their name, and they could not come at any better time.
I mean, if you're going to score 2 goals, I guess make them the one that sends you to overtime and then wins overtime. Like, I guess if you're going to pick 2, we'll take those. And if you're going to pick those 2 things as being your largest contribution to the game, then I guess that works. I mean, Parson went from being kind of the 100-point anchor at the bottom, kind of holding up the rest of Absolute Units to very much contributing here, and Absolute Units stemmed that comeback from Bedwetters. Looked really dangerous there at the very end, almost being able to force overtime, but Absolute Units just had that little bit extra, and Parsons that spark plug to be able to get it going. A cycle from Antics doesn't hurt either. It was really just a well-rounded performance from Absolute Units. Bedwetter's had a slow start, though. They're going to be coming out headed into game number 2 a little bit more warmed up here, I think, against the they've kind of got Absolute Units locked in a little bit more now because they didn't have them locked in at the beginning of that game. So we'll have to see if game number 2 starts off in a different kind of on a different foot. But Absolute Units have taken the first game off of Bedwetters here. Something that the team name's gone. Poof! What was the team that they just beat in the last one? Audacity, there it is. So Audacity couldn't find a win. Absolute Units has found one. Game number 2 is going to get underway here. All 6 players back on the pitch. And Starcoin, I'd love to hear what you think. Who do you think is going to take this second game? Where do you think the series is going to go?
Well, we just saw Bedwetters. They had the opportunity to score, and once they got their ball rolling, it did not stop. They got 2 in a row and tied it up, or 3 in a row to take the lead. And they could not get the 4th because Absolute Units just caught on fire in the last couple of seconds. And if Bedwetters can start this game off a little bit quicker than they did game number 1, it will not surprise me one bit if they win game 2, because game number 1, like you said, Absolute Units started off real good, and Bedwetters took quite a while to get into that mentality that they needed to be in. But what matters is they eventually got into it, and once they did, it was goal after goal after goal for Bedwetters. So right now, they're looking like they are playing well. They're playing like they were in the second half of game 1. If they can keep this up, this game will most likely go into Bedwetters.
Yeah, I definitely think that there's a strong chance that Bedwetters take this one, but it has been a different look from Absolute Units, too. Parson now leading the charge forwards for Absolute Units. Antics taking the backseat, the third man in the rotation here in game number 2. Whether that's intentional or just kind of the way that everything has fallen so far is unclear, but now it's going to be down to Antics to make a save. Chips it outside. Geoid's there for the dunk. It's still dangerous here in the blue. Attacking third, the orange half. Jathan's going to look for one. Slow play under Antics. Couldn't quite find the shot. And Parsons going to clear this one out over midfield. I feel like game number 1 was a little bit of a tale of 2 halves. One team had the control for one half. The other team had control for the other half. Wasn't necessarily the first half and the second half. It was kind of like the first third, and then the middle third, and then the back third, whatever. I know that doesn't necessarily add up, but it's fine. I feel like this has been a little bit more of a different look, where Bedwetters, this has been much more of a push. Neither team is in control of this one. Both teams still trying to find their footing as this one's going to come across, and Antics is going to snipe the bottom right-hand corner. It's a first goal for Absolute Units. Bedwetters in the hole yet again.
Absolute Units are the first team to find their footing. Like you said, both of these teams are pushing for possession, and Absolute Units, they have possession for just long enough to get that one through. Bedwetters looking to switch it up and get themselves on the board as well and tie this game up, but that one does not land. They still have control over this ball. There's an opportunity, huge opportunity from Jathan, but he just cuts that one a little bit too short. But Geoids, oh my goodness, the solo play is all you need. Bedwetters tied this game up, and that was beautiful.
I don't think Geoids had a whole lot of boost coming off the back wall there. I was trying to get back to his POV for the replay, but I wasn't clicked in the right window. I'm pretty sure that was like a 12 boost play off the backboard for Geoids to be able to find that equalizer. Huge mechanical effort. Another big stop there on the backboard as well, as Soul takes Jathan off the pitch. An opportunity here for Parson, who's been really just locked in. Almost drives that one down underneath 2 defenders. Antics on the follow-up, saved away by Jathan, but now lots of real estate for Absolute Units. A tap back for Antics, and he's going to tuck it underneath the crossbar. Huge shot there from Antics, and Absolute Units snag that lead right back.
That they do. They're putting the pressure on the Bedwetters. The Bedwetters strike back, and Absolute Units immediately start suppressing them yet again. Just seems like whatever Bedwetters do, Absolute Units have an answer. Bedwetters are going to have to keep on striking and somehow try to stop Absolute Units, because right now, Absolute Units are in control of the pace, they're in control of the scoreboard, and everything is going their way.
I mean, they've really got the breakout of Bedwetters completely nullified. They've found a lot of great back check demos that have led them to having a lot more space. There's another one from Parson on Geoids. It's really thrown a wrench into the offensive rotations of Bedwetters, and it's kind of stemmed the tide a little bit for them here in game number 2. We talked about it a little bit between games, Starcoin, and just the fact that Audacity wasn't quite the right matchup for Bedwetters. Absolute Units seem to be much better of a matchup here in this series. What do you think that comes down to? Why do you think Absolute Units is Antics? Oh, he's going to get a nasty dunk for his hat trick there. Absolute Units 3-1. Antics gets it done. Is Antics the answer? Is he the difference maker?
I think Antics might be one of the reasons, but I don't think he's the main reason. Absolute Units, they're playing a lot stronger of a third man. Meanwhile, for Audacity, it seems like they were kind of loose on the third spot. Like they let that third man kind of straggle a little bit, and Bedwetters took advantage of that a lot. There was a lot of times where there was just nobody back for Audacity because the third man was playing a little bit too loose. Absolute Units, this is not the case. That third man is always where they need them to be. Oh my goodness. Absolute Units, what was that? 2 saves in a row. Just like that, Bedwetters, things are looking rough. Absolute Units going to put another shot on target, but that one does not land. It's a 2-goal lead now for Absolute Units, and the Bedwetters have to find 2 in 30 seconds.
It's tough to come out of a double Brazil series and struggle to find a win here. It's going to look like with 15 seconds left as Parson continues to just build a wall on the goal line. Another save for Parson. Antics respawn. He's going to just play for time here. Not enough left on the clock, and it just looks easy for the defensive Absolute Units. Even when they're being deleted off the field, the rotations are impeccable, so clean, and that one's going to go in. 0 boost off the sidewall for Soul. 4-1. Absolute Units put their mark on game 2.
They absolutely do. Game 2 was all Absolute Units. The Bedwetters, they did get that 1 goal off of that solo play from Geoids, but other than that, it was all dark and gloomy for Bedwetters. And Absolute Units are just showing their might here, and they are 1 game away from sending us into the grand finals. And honestly, it would not surprise me if they do. So far, I'm looking at the bracket here. Absolute Units have not dropped a game yet. Right now, they are 8-0 in games. Of course, they're undefeated in series because they're still in the upper bracket. But to not drop a game this late in the bracket and still be undefeated is absolutely unreal. So it will not surprise me if Absolute Units keep the pressure on and take this series in 3.
I mean, they kind of came into this one. We kind of posed them coming into this series as the underdogs because we had just seen Bedwetters wipe the floor with Audacity, but Absolute Units are not the underdogs in the series. They are not, there's no way around it. There's just no chance that Absolute Units would be not favored in this one, especially after watching them through these first 2 games. They have shut down every opportunity that Bedwetters have had, left the door open a couple of times, but found a way to close it before it was too late. And now it is last opportunity, last life here in the upper bracket for Bedwetters. They've got to find a way to win this game number 3, open that reverse sweep door just a crack. It's a good start for Reveal, but Geoids just a step too slow, and what almost was an ideal start for Bedwetters just barely slips through their fingers.
And I also made a mistake. It's actually 10 games straight for Absolute Units if you count the last 2 in this series. That is outrageous, HUD. Like, you get what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I mean, at this level of Rocket League, exactly. You're gonna lose some. To not lose any is crazy.
Yeah, and there is a big possibility that they go through this undefeated because in the last game. That was a pretty decisive win, or it was
4-2 at the end. Yeah, 2 goals.
4-2 at the end.
It was pretty decisive.
No, 4-1,
I don't think you're remiss in calling that pretty decisive. It was a good win from Absolute Units. Bedwetters are definitely putting up a much more staunch effort here in game number 3. They've got to. I mean, there's no way around it. But Absolute Units, I think the defining thing more than that 4 goals they scored, I missed it because I was just kind of still in awe of the fact that we're looking at a 2-0 here. Absolute Units, especially Parson, had a silly amount of saves in that last. They stacked the wall up on Bedwetters, especially late stages of game number 2. And Bedwetters just haven't been able to find an answer. It's really been an ability for Absolute Units to have strong defense that has led to them being able to make these offensive chances happen as Soul finds another seam, another huge 50 as well. And, we continue to see a slow start to a game, but both these teams haven't found that last gear as it's another massive save from Antics that keeps it at 0-0.
Just when you were talking about the defense of Absolute Units, it is a very dangerous spot to be in. But Absolute Units, they're making it work. They're keeping the offense at bay. However, they have not had many showings of offense in this game number 3. So far, they have 2 shots total compared to 9 on the side of Bedwetters. That won't be a third. It was close. But it's off the backboard and it's saved away. We've reached the halfway mark and we are still tied at 0. And Bedwetters have been showing a lot more presence in the orange side than vice versa. They've really kept the possession up and they have made Absolute Units sweat a little bit. This might be the key to victory. But Soul, putting a shot on target does not make things any easier. Soul, he's real good at placing those shots right where he wants them. Reveal did get the save this time, but next time might be a different story.
Bedwetters just really rushing some of their shots, and I shouldn't even open my mouth. Jathan pinged one off the post there, and then on the pop-up to the ceiling here, Geoid just has an immaculate read. Nobody's home in time. A uncharacteristic error there for Absolute Units on the defensive end, but Bedwetters finally have something to show for the 10 shots that they've put on save, on goal rather. They've finally broken through. They are potentially going to find 2 immediately, not quite as Parson makes that save. Geoids whiffs it, and an opportunity on a breakout here is going to stop my analysis for a moment. Big flick to the backboard for Parson and sniffed out pretty well by Bedwetters, but they finally score. They have 11 shots now, 1 goal. Absolute Units stacking up a lot of saves, but only with 3 shots. Any level, I don't care who you are, I don't care if you're NRG, if you're getting your opponents are shooting 3 times as much as you are on your goal, you're not going to win that game. And when Reveal can solo play all the way across the pitch, coast to coast play here for Reveal, it's hard to defend against that sometimes. Sometimes they're just better.
It's really hard to defend, especially, like you said, the shot count is 12-4 in favor of Bedwetters. Absolute Units have had virtually no time in the blue half, and it has been all Bedwetters. The defense of Absolute Units is amazing. Let's get one thing straight. The defense of Absolute Units is amazing. One of the best defenses that I have seen, but every defense has to break eventually. Like, if you hit a brick wall enough with your fists, eventually, well, your fist is going to break, but if you keep hitting it, the brick wall is going to break too.
And all about who yields first, and right now that is not going to be the Absolute Units as the pancake comes all the way across. How many touches here from Antics? 1, 2, like 7 there, just on the backboard. Drags it all the way down right to Soul's hood. And I'm having deja vu a little bit, Star. Shades of game 1 as Bedwetters, it's down to the wire here. Can they close it out this time?
We'll just have to see. They have the 1-goal lead now.
Oh,
and that's a huge whiff, and it's the perfect play.
A fake. No
Jathan.
whiffs, just fakes.
No whiffs, just fake. We'll see. I'll be the judge of that.
That's a fake and a half if I've ever seen
I don't think so.
He gave him a stanky leg. He broke those axles. There's no chance that wasn't a fake. Well, I'll ask after we're done here. It's 3-1 for Bedwetters though, and this is I can't say that I'm surprised. I'm not shocked that Bedwetters have just kind of remembered that they're one of the best teams in this tournament. I don't know if we're gonna get all the way to a game 5. I don't know if Bedwetters have a repeat of this performance in them for game 4. I do think if we get to a game 5, I think Bedwetters will take it. If it gets to that point, I think something's gone catastrophically wrong for Absolute Units. And Bedwetters could very well find themselves in a grand final if they can at least force that game 5. They've done step 1 here, closed out game number 3. The door for the reverse sweep is open. And now game number 4, again, just as much weight here. The money is on the line now.
That could not be more true. The money is literally on the line. Taking this series guarantees you a spot in the grand finals as well as a little bit of the prize pool. And a little bit, like you said a little bit ago about that reverse sweep, is if this goes to game 5, I think Bedwetters is going to take it as well. But the problem is getting to game 5, because in a reverse sweep, when you are up by 2, you're thinking, all right, guys, we just need one more. We just got to win this game. Then you drop the first game. Then you're like, okay, guys, we dropped 1. We just got to win this game. But when you get to that second game, you're in game 5. You are at do or die scenario. Your mentality switches like the light switch. It switches from we have to win this game to we can't lose this game. And that is a huge, huge mentality switch.
Absolutely, and separates the good players from the great players, the people who are able to compartmentalize that and find a way to push through when everything's on the line. Here, reveal might be on the end of a great feed from Jathan, but it'll be just a little bit too heavy. Parson will get credit for the save. Geoids underneath 1 with the flip reset, read by Antics. Back to the backboard again for Jathan. Antics will have the stop on reveal. No boost, but no problem for Antics. And living to fight another day here is Absolute Units. Just about a minute gone here in game number 4. 0-0 again, as these two teams really just starting to go punch for punch since the midway point of game number 3. It has been very much just the two Titans slugging it out. Absolute Units, they went from at like 3 or 2 to 3 goals like halfway through game number 3. They ended the game with 9. So they piled them on at the very end, but it just wasn't quite enough. They've got the ability to do it. But Bedwetters also have the ability to do it, and right now they're doing it again. 6 shots for Bedwetters, a fat 0 for Absolute Units. This one isn't going to count either, as it's just a little bit too wide, and Absolute Units have, they've been downloaded by Bedwetters here. I'm worried for them as we move through the rest of this game, because Bedwetters, once they kind of sink their hooks into you, it's hard to get away from them.
And it is Bedwetters in firm control of this match. And like we've been saying time and time again throughout this match, is if you are being doubled in your shot count, then you're most likely not going to win that game. I'm going to up you, or I'm going to raise you. They're being sextupled in their shot count, which is not where you want to be.
Not particularly, no. Any large ratio, like, generally not a good look, but right now all it takes is 1 because there's no goals on the board. So Absolute Units back to playing that very patented brand of defensive focused rotation here. They're absorbing a lot of pressure and trying to find the quick counterattacks. Bedwetters know this. They've definitely sped up their defensive rotations back to kind of be a hard counter for the quick breakout of Absolute Units, but all it takes is 1. Doesn't have to be pretty. Soul's going to throw this one to the backboard. It's a tough read for Geoids, but of course he's got it. Popped out for Parson. Drops it down into the box for Jathan, and it's cleared back to neutral territory here over midfield. Soul with a touch, but no follow-up. At least secures that mid-boost. He's here to provide some support for Parson, and they're on the end of the pass as well, but the shot just a little bit wide, and Jathan will chip it away. Geoid's quick transition. Antics with a guiding touch, a feed down, denied by the crossbar, and Soul comes across for the save again. A huge defensive stand for Absolute Units. They keep it 0-0.
The defense of Absolute Units is not to be talked down upon. The defense is outrageous. This is probably one of the best defenses that I have ever seen. But the problem is they're not getting any time on the front foot. Right now, the shot count is 8-2 in favor of Bedwetters. That is just not sustainable. You've got to find some shots and put something on the board. There's a
that?
shot,
Oh.
it forces the double commit, and that's what we want to see. Get those shots on the board, and you're going to start winning your games again. 1 minute to go, and we're still scoreless. Not for long!
Anymore.
Reveal! What a shot from Reveal. It took us 4 minutes. It's the pass upfield. Reveal. Perfect shot. 1-0 Bedwetters.
Still scoreless, not anymore. It's like we do it on purpose. It's like the game knows that we've just said that something is this one way, and then the media is like, no, it's not. You look stupid now. Like, no, it's not. It's just the caster curse comes around. It doesn't matter who you are, where you are. Always waiting. Absolute Units now have got to find a way to get themselves back in this. They don't want to leave this door any further open. It's not do or die time yet for them, but I do not want to play Bedwetters in a game 5. I don't want to watch it happen because I would feel real bad for Absolute Units. But it's 30 seconds left now for Absolute Units to find a way. It's a big demo by Parson. Antics can't get it through. Reveal on the pre-jump stop makes a critical save there to preserve this 1-goal lead. Now 15 seconds left. Absolute Units moving into offensive shape here. Deleted was Soul by Geoids. Nobody goes for it. A miscommunication might be the ice on this game number 4. Soul puts it out, but no boost to get out here for Absolute Units. Pinned in their own end. 0 on the clock, and Reveal plays it to the ground. Bedwetters, a pretty dominant 1-0 win as far as 1-0 wins go, I would say.
Yeah, the scoreboard might not show it, but the Bedwetters dominated that game. You can tell by the shot counts. You can tell by the shot count. And honestly, the score, not that far off, like the actual points. That's really, really close. For a team that took 10 shots to a team that took 4 shots, that's a pretty even scoreline.
Well, when you save almost every shot that's taken, I mean, there's only 3 shots unaccounted for between the Bedwetter shot total and the Absolute Units save total. So 3 shots that went off of the post or off the crossbar didn't get a save attached to them. Every other one was marked by an orange car, with the exception of the one that went in the back of the net. That's how good the Absolute Units defense is, but it's also how good the Bedwetters offense is, because they're able to take this monumental Titan defense that Absolute Units keeps finding. Soul somehow always seems to be in the perfect spot on the back line as third man. He somehow manages to make himself like a fourth man to be there to sweep things away. But Bedwetters have just got a little bit too much sauce here for the Absolute Units defense. Absolute Units have got to find a way to generate a little bit more offense for themselves. That'll take a little bit of that pressure off of their defense, but right now they're really struggling to even get out of their own end, and it's do or die time now. Both these teams. Game 5, we knew we were going to get here. I don't know why we hit ourselves like we weren't. And Bedwetters have got the momentum. It's all in their favor right now. Can they do it? Reveal's going to put it in. Quick 7-second strike, and Bedwetters have got the lead.
The don't lose mentality strikes early. You see Soul. He's playing conservative. He doesn't want to pre-jump and risk something. He's playing it safe. That's not what you can do. You've already been playing it way too safe. The last 2 games, you have been stuck on your own half the entire game. And now, to make that even worse is just the icing on the reverse sweep cake.
You're spot on. They're just playing a little bit too passive there. They could have had a goal, and instead it's going to be Reveal that gets a second on the other end. Just a step of hesitation from Absolute Units, and Bedwetters crams it down their throats. You can't blink against an offense like Bedwetters, or they're going to find a way to put it in the back of your net. And right now, Absolute Units staring down the barrel of a 5-game reverse sweep, as Bedwetters have put 2 in the first 25 seconds. Just an ego challenge there from Geoids, the fake challenge, a demo. Reveal's got space and time, but not enough boost. He's going to leave it there, and Soul will have the save off the backboard. But man, what a disastrous start for Absolute Units. It could not have gone any worse for them to start this game 5.
It's only been a minute, but this game is over. Jathan, 3 goals now for Bedwetters. This is exactly what they did in Series 1. I'm sorry, but the mentality switch, you can tell by the way they're playing. Absolute Units just don't have a chance right now unless they do a complete overhaul of their gameplay, of their mentality. They have to switch everything up, and I don't know if they have it in them because it worked for them for the first 2 games. But now that they have to really switch up, they might be a bit stummered considering it worked so well in the first 2 games, or who knows? Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, if this is what it's got to take for Absolute Units to be able to break through, they're not going to find a redirect from that angle on the backboard again this game. It's not like they're going to find another 2 of those because the chances of Bedwetters leaving that unmarked again, pretty low. I don't think that, you're going to find a second real tight angle there, but an own goal maybe is good for the Absolute Units. We'll get a little bit of everything. Everybody get out bingo cards. We've had an own goal. We've had a play off the backboard. Can we get some, like, we haven't had a Rule 1 yet. That's not on the bingo card yet. We've had 2 Brazils, but no Rule 1s. So everybody make sure that you're keeping track of your spaces here. Absolute Units have just taken this from us going, this game is over, to making it a 1-goal game in like 15 seconds. So, you know, again, why do we even talk? Like, what is even the point of trying to predict these things? Because these teams are just so good at every turn. Absolute Units, another huge 50 from Soul here, a bump. Parson tucks it in. 3 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock. 3-3 scoreline. 6 goals, a minute and a half. Who cares?
Well, just completely shut us up. That is unreal. Absolute Units have switched everything around in under a minute. This is absolutely unreal. Now Bedwood is looking to switch things back in their favor, but that time it doesn't land. Jathan looking for the last one, but it's actually the pass off. Great bump play as well.
Huge.
Bedwetters find their 4th.
When I saw them look for that bump across the goal line, and I saw that there was nobody on the goal line, I was like, oh, that's a little bit of waste of rotation. Found the bump anyways, sought it out on the way out, and it's a lead right back in favor for Bedwetters. They stopped that momentum pretty swiftly. Obviously, they allowed 3 goals to get there, but they've got the lead back, so not a huge deal here for Bedwetters. And Absolute Units, they were the beneficiaries of 2 kind of fluky goals and then a 3rd legitimate goal, if you want to go as far as saying that. Almost another fluky goal there for Soul on the backflip from the sidewall, but Absolute Units have got to find a way to earn these a little bit more as Parson looks for another shot off the backboard. That'd be a really good way to make me look dumb. I said that they're not going to find another goal off the backboard, and Parson almost just did it right there. We're not even at halftime yet. 7 goals on the board, and things have slowed down for a moment, Star. Just for a breath here.
But how long is this breath going to last? Make sure you use all the breath that you can get, because I don't think it's going to stay this way for long. We've officially crossed the halfway point. And the score is 4-3. Usually a score line that you see near the end of a game. We've already had 7 goals, and we have just crossed the halfway mark. A very good game so far. It's been back and forth. And the Bedwetters, of course, looking to make their reverse sweep dreams a reality and cement themselves into the grand finals with the 1-game advantage. Geoids looking to end that rally right there, but it's going to be Reveal putting it on target one more time. But the defense holds up yet again. And it just seems like I've been saying that all night. The defense of Absolute Units holding up when they need it most.
Absolutely has been good for at least a game win, I would say, the defense of Absolute Units. They're still forcing the issue here on the counterattack as well. Free ball picked out by Jathan. A bump from Reveal, but Soul just able to get back in the nick of time to take that one away. Keep it a 1-goal game with 1:20 left. 4-3 was the scoreline of game 1 that went all the way to overtime. 4-3 was the scoreline of this game before halftime. So that has been the shift in how this series has gone as the defense has become less and less important and the offense has become the thing that everybody kind of is looking for. Reveal some boost and some space. Antics up to challenge. Follow up from Geoids to the backboard. Jathan up, but met well by the defense of Absolute Units. 53 seconds left. Orange side still got to find one more goal. Antics, a heavy touch. He secured the boost, but couldn't hold on to the ball. They'll have to go back to the drawing board here for Absolute Units. They've got 40 seconds left. Will they be able to break through? They've got to find a seam somehow, and Parson not able to take that one away. That could be the one that does it.
HUD, I think I smell something.
What do you
I think I smell the reverse sweep.
You think you smell it? You think it's
I
been
smell
cooking
a reverse
and
sweep.
they've finally taken the lid off of it here? I think it's going to happen. We went from back-to-back to 2 Brazils in a row to a reverse sweep. Isn't that wild? The same team, too. The same team.
Oh,
it's not over yet. Not over at all. Parson's going to take this one. Hat trick hero here for Parson. We said it in game number 1. He steps up when you need him to. And now with 30 seconds left, again, this is almost a punch for punch, the exact same thing that happened in game number 1. All the way down to the wire. Will Absolute Units be able to find the equalizer, or is Bedwetter's going to find a way to close this one out?
Gonna have to see Bedwetters. They just need to hold on for 19 seconds. But Absolute Units looking like a different team. A big demo from Geoids. That just wastes time for Absolute Units. 10 seconds on the clock. Parson, one last opportunity, gets up past 1, but Jathan gets enough on his card to make that save, and there is the missed communication and the mechanic failure. And now they've got to keep this up. It's going to be so difficult. That's a bad touch from Geoids, but it doesn't matter. It still drops down, and the reverse sweep dreams come through. Bedwetters 3 games in a row, and they are on to the grand finals.
Yeah, this is I don't really have any words for this one. I feel like for the opposite reason why I didn't have any words for the first one. The last series that Bedwetters took was just so much of a beatdown that there really wasn't anything that we could say about it that wouldn't just be saying, wow, that was a great series for the Bedwetters. And then this one, it looked like it was firmly in the grasp of as soon as the team names are gone off the screen, I forget what they are. As soon as they're gone, my tiny little brain completely just ejects them from my head. Absolute Units almost, they had the start. They were close. And then Bedwetters it took them 3 games to finish downloading Absolute Units. That's what it comes down to. Like, it took them a little bit. The first game, they were still riding high off the double Brazil from the first series. They weren't quite ready. Game number 2 was a great win from Absolute Units, that 4-2 win in game number 2. But then from game number 3 forward, I mean, it was just Bedwetters doing Bedwetters things. Like, Absolute Units absolutely put up a better fight than what we saw from Audacity. But at the end of the day, like, the 5-game reverse sweep to get to the point where we kind of already knew what the answer was, which was Bedwetters were going to win, feels a little anticlimactic to me, Star.
Yeah, it feels a little bit anticlimactic, but we can't change it. Bedwetters on to the grand finals, where they will face either Cosmosis Esports Audacity or, of course, Absolute Units, who we just saw. When we return, it will be the lower bracket final. Absolute Units versus either Cosmosis Esports or Audacity. But really quick, before we do head into a break, we want to give another shout out to Latency. Latency is a tournament organizer and production company that provides services and competitions to the competitive community. Make sure you reach out today to see how Latency can help you at latency.com with an 8 for the A. And that's all we have for right now. Stay tuned for just a couple of minutes and we'll be back with the lower bracket finals. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Snowstorm Rocket League tournament. I'm still Starcoin here. That over there is still HUD-X, and we have the lower bracket finals for you at the moment. Absolute Units, who we just saw lose in a reverse sweep to Bedwetters, versus Audacity, who just a few minutes ago we saw get absolutely dominated by Bedwetters. So two teams coming off of losses from Bedwetters. Which team is going to be taking this finals?
Yeah, I think that it's great that we have an opportunity here that we are guaranteed a rematch in some capacity in the finals. You know, I feel like we didn't see an Audacity that was representative of what Audacity is capable of in that first series against Bedwetters. I feel like that Audacity that we saw was not a good, that's not where we should draw our thoughts here. If we base, who's going to win this off of just that first series, obviously, Absolute Units played Bedwetters better. So I would put my money on them based solely on that. But Audacity is a great team. They've got an opportunity here to be able to get things, a bounce back here. They beat Cosmosis 2-1 and Rain 1-0 in the quarters and the semis. So they've got a little bit of momentum here. Absolute Units just got the door kind of slammed in their face. So a battle of a team that's a little hot versus a team that just got stomped around a little bit. 5 minutes on the clock. Best of 3 between these two teams, so a shorter series to determine who gets to go face off against the team that sent them down to this lower bracket. Audacity in the blue, Sats, Trent, Gator. Absolute Units, we already know them. Soul, Parson, Antics. We are after it here. Game number 1 and Star. I did the standard caster wishy-wash. I won't pick a team to win. Are you going to do the same, or do you think one of these teams has kind of got this one locked away?
I'm going to take Absolute Units because they just scored.
Yeah, I was about to say that's a good reason to pick them. They're in the lead now.
Absolute Units. A great play right there, just kind of disrupting the flow of Audacity's play style, making them a little bit confused. And Parson comes flying in. First goal of the lower bracket finals goes to Absolute Units.
It's not a surprise. Both these teams, I think this honestly is a great matchup as Gator gets a great response there for Audacity. I think this has the potential to be a pretty long 3-game series. I think both these teams are a great matchup for each other, and you can let us know in chat right now because we've been all over the place with saying things that may or may not happen and being immediately told that we're wrong by the players on the pitch. You can, have your go at that one. Prediction is up. Use your channel points. Antics with a dunk. Antics is going to, he's out here campaigning for your channel points right now. 2-1 for Absolute Units.
There we go. Absolute Units get hit, and then they hit right back. Audacity ties it up off of a great play from Gator. And now, just like that, Antics gets another goal on the board. This time, it's on the orange side of the overlay. Now, Audacity looking to strike back to bring this game back to an even slate, but that's going to be real difficult, or maybe not. That's perfect shot on target. Parson saving that ball at the last possible second keeps Absolute Units in the lead. Antics keeps this ball on the blue half, trying to make things as difficult as possible for the opposing team. Here's Antics, sending it right along the wall. And Soul sneaks that one into the top left corner, and that's about as textbook as you can get.
Now on a wire down there on the pass from Antics straight to the hood of Soul. Tiny little window to squeeze that one in inside the post and found to perfection by Absolute Units. They've extended that lead to 2 now in the first minute and a half. We've kind of seen this be a theme with Absolute Units. They like to score early, and they tend to score in bunches when they do, but when they go quiet for a while. So have to see if they can't find a way to break that trend here in this series versus Audacity. They've got a good setup here, good fitting through the first 2 minutes of game number 1. They're looking to try to make it a 4-1 game, but it'll be saved away by Sats. Gator has it bounced off of the sidewall, power clear by Parsons. Soul with a great 50 there, keeping it in the blue end. Absolute Units doing a much better job this time around of taking that offensive territory and doing something with it, because they really struggled to do that against Bedwetters. But now they've got a wide open net. Parsons going to tap it in. It's 4-1 for Absolute Units.
Absolute Units, they're starting to pull away with this game. Audacity. They got off to a pretty good start. Of course, Absolute Unit did score the first goal, but Audacity struck back very quickly. But ever since Audacity struck back, Absolute Units took that personally, and it has just been blow after blow after blow. And we are just about to cross the halfway mark, and it's a 3-goal deficit for Audacity. And it's going to be real hard to come back from, especially when you got Soul just causing a huge amount of problems right there. The team rule 1 does not stay because the team rule 1, that'd be certain goal for the other team.
Team rule one we can excuse, I suppose. There's money on the line here. You don't want to get into a teammate and have it result in a goal behind you, and nothing would be worse than having people tell you that you've broken one of the sacred rules of the game here. It was a close look on both ends there. Absolute Units had one on one side, and Audacity turned it right into one for them on the other. Right now, I mean, Absolute Units have, this is their game. This is their game to this point. They've got a pretty solid 3-goal lead with about 1:40 left, and it's going to be not cut down a little bit there as the post makes a big save for Absolute Units on Sats. But this rotation and this striking from Absolute Units is what we missed from them against Bedwetters in that last series. We saw it from them at the beginning when they still had a little bit of that time, a little bit of that space before Bedwetters really started to clamp down on them. Gator's going to cut the lead down to 2 here with 1:16 left, so Audacity still very much in this one, but Absolute Units have looked like a team recharged here in the beginning of this series. That, this is do or die time now, really and truly. And it looks like Absolute Units is playing with a little bit more vigor here. You think they might be angry after getting reverse swept?
It is very, very possible. I mean, losing 3 games in a row is not easy on the mental, so it would not surprise me one bit if
I think
they're
Soul
playing
is angry.
with a little bit of aggression. Yeah, I was about to say that. Soul, he's playing a little bit aggressive. Like, he's going for the bumps when he doesn't really need to be. He's taking the aggressive option on the ball, and just look at this guy. He has so much aggressive energy. BAM! Sends Trent to the underworld.
Yeah, I mean, that little bit of extra fervor can be a blessing and a curse, and this time it's going to catch him out as Absolute Units just a little bit over the skis here, a little bit too far out ahead of themselves. Gator, a soft touch to the backboard and the wherewithal to get back to it, tap it underneath Parson. 33 seconds left. Audacity are within 1. Absolute Units, they scored in bunches. They've gone silent. They can't let this one get away from them. Audacity almost able to find that one off the kickoff. Trent with no boost. Couldn't really get a whole lot to happen. Antics will play this one real long. Parson with a read from Gator there. 20 seconds remaining on the clock. Trent slows it down, and Audacity looking to get something going here across the middle of the box. It's stopped by Antics, and Soul will guide it away. 10 seconds left. Soul out towards midfield. One more look for Audacity. Can they find a way to send us to OT in game 1? Stats, a pass off of the corner. Trent still keeping it up. Edge of the box. Shot denied by Parson. That's still here. We're still at zeros all the way down. Finally finds the ground. Absolute Units hang on by the skin of their teeth. Game 1 is in orange.
Game number 1 goes to Absolute Units, and now Audacity. 1 game away from going home with nothing. And Absolute Units, I know that they very, very badly want a rematch in the grand finals against the Bedwetters after coming so close to winning the series. It just did not happen. Absolute Units did get reverse sweeped, and they just could not hold the Bedwetters off forever. And now, Bedwetters waiting the grand finals. Who do you think they want to face? If you look at it from a Bedwetters point of view,
I
Do you
mean, if
think they
you're
want to face Audacity or do they want to face Absolute Units?
based off of just prior results in this tournament, if you're Bedwetters, you've got to be hoping for an Audacity win because they had their way with Audacity in that the semifinals. Absolute Units gave them a run for their money, and if I was Bedwetters, I would be picking the team that I know that I already kind of wiped the floor with. But at the same time, there's really never. There's never, at this level, there's never a good team to go up against because any team can pop off at any given moment as Soul almost finds a way to get Absolute Units onto the board early here in Game 2. I would rather take Audacity, but at this point, Absolute Units are on fire. They look fantastic. They're right back at it here in game number 2. Antics with another demo. Just 1-on-3 the other way for Gator, and he can't even get a 50 in the corner. It's just looking pretty locked in here for Absolute Units. They definitely are going to be looking for that rematch, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of the Bedwetters have been talking a big game so far, so I would imagine that that Absolute Units would like to get a little bit of that back too.
I can't imagine Absolute Units. They have got to be at least a little bit upset about the result of the winners final. So they are playing with a reason to win. They want to get the rematch. They want to get the result that they think they deserve.
I want to get paid too. You gotta win to get paid.
You gotta win to get paid, of course. You can't forget about that. But I'm talking about passion, HUD.
Oh no, I think passion in this case is absolutely the driving force. The money doesn't hurt at any point though, and these players are at this moment probably not thinking about the prize pool. Almost a rule 1 between Soul and Trent. It just barely slid away. We haven't had a real genuine one yet tonight, so we're waiting for the first one to happen. That's an awkward touch and might be the first goal, but just able to get back in time was Sats to push it wide. Trent goes underneath that one. Parson also can't find it. A little bit of whifty action there, and the bump is going to be pogoed off the post into the save. Still not able to break through his Absolute Units, but they're absolutely knocking on the door. Whiff from Soul. Parsons going to tap it back to Antics, and Gator will clear it away. It has been only by the thinnest of margins that it wasn't a goal for Absolute Units. Somehow it turns into one for Audacity. That is that's an oof there if I've ever seen one for Absolute Units.
I've already got Rocket League tournament bingo. Why not go for the blackout? A rule 1, a huge whiff to miss the goal, and a reverse sweep in the lower bracket finals. Possibility, Audacity getting this game 2 started off in the lead. It will not surprise me if they can keep the pressure on. Audacity is a very good team. And because of things like that, the accuracy of their shots is outrageous.
Nobody's home. Sats just picks it out. Nobody's there. Nobody's even within where's the defender for the back post? Nobody's close to being able to save that shot. Just a great back pocket pick from Audacity and Sats. And now halftime has come and gone. This is a considerably different look than what we saw in game number 1 for both sides. Absolute Units an opportunity here. Soul's going to jam it underneath the crossbar. Nobody there to defend. He uses all the boost to pinch it down underneath and bounce it off right at 2-2-2. It's unfortunate that wasn't their second goal. We would have had 2-2. 2-2-2 is my favorite thing. But Absolute Units, they've got themselves back within 1. They've got the shot advantage right now, too. They're kind of doing a little bit of what we saw Bedwetters do of leading the way with the shots. But Audacity have had a lot of really quality chances. That's led to them having the lead here in game number 2.
And it has. They've had a lot of opportunities, and Absolute Units just have not been able to defend them. Here's another one. If Sats can get himself turned the right way around, he will. It's going to be Trent centering it up, but Soul's there for the clear. Parson looking for the booming shot downfield, but that one just does not come. Now, 2 minutes to go. The predictions are in. 0-0 is the prediction.
Chat didn't do any predictions? Come on, chat.
No predictions. Come on, guys. We got to get some predictions going.
Man, no predictions. And this is a good one. This is one that, we've had 2 great prediction ones. You could make some bank with with points here, but you're gonna have to wait till the next series now at this point, unless we get somebody to run another prediction, which could happen. Maybe if we see a game 3, we can get a who will win game 3 prediction up. Parsons gonna put this one on the backboard, and right now this result holds. We will see a game number 3. Audacity have definitely been on the front foot, but one thing that I actually, I heard you say, and I thought about it for a second, Star. The defense for Absolute Units is looking not great. We literally sat here for 5 games in the last series and we talked about how Absolute Units defense was the best that we've ever seen. What has changed here? Because obviously something's different between these two teams. Is it just that Absolute Units defense was better against a little bit of a faster attack like Bedwetters have? Audacity slowing it down, changing the pace a little bit, and maybe it's just Absolute Units not countering it well, or is this just a collapse? Like, what's happening to Absolute Units?
I think they're in their own head. I think they have not fully recovered from the result of the winners finals. But right then and there, Parsons taps that ball in. We've said his name quite a bit for a guy that
he's been quiet in this game, and now he's scored the most important goal again. He literally just keeps doing. Oh my God! It's literally
again.
Carbon copy. It's the same exact thing. Deja vu all over again. 3-2. Parson again with the clutch factor. This one's just on a fluke kickoff. 3-2 for Absolute Units with 23 seconds left. What's going on?
Absolute Units is letting it happen again. They are not wanting to get reverse sweeped again. They just had it in the winners finals. They're not going to let it happen in the losers final. They're keeping the pressure on, and they just have to hold for 10 seconds, and they will be on to the grand finals.
And here we go. Parks the bus. Just
banger
just
of a
waiting
shot, but it does not connect. That ball will get the bad bounce, and it rolls across the ground. Absolute Units take the series in 2. And just like that, we have a rematch. Bedwetters versus Absolute Units in the grand finals. HUD, did we really expect anything else?
I mean, no, we didn't expect it, or we shouldn't have expected anything else. We shouldn't have allowed ourselves to believe anything else than this outcome was going to happen, because it's by all means, this is the inevitable outcome. But I'm excited to see it. A best of 6 effectively for a grand finals, a huge rematch. And right now, I think if Absolute Units can. Because it just looked weird in that series. If they come out with that kind of a defensive look against Bedwetters, it's not going to be a fun time for them. But if they can get right into game number 2, which we're going to start with because it's already a game in hand to Bedwetters, they can get into game number 2 and remember how they were playing against Bedwetters at the beginning of the winners finals. I think we could have a really nice long grand finals here. But if Bedwetters come out and just wipe the floor in game 2, it's going to be a quick 3-0 out for the grand finals. So I think that we've got an opportunity for it to happen, but it could go either way. And I'm not going to commit to anything because that's what I do.
Yeah, you've been real good about not giving your input too much. You don't want to be wrong.
We hold the cards close to the chest here.
Yeah, you hold the cards real close to your chest. You got to maintain that ego. You can never be wrong.
No.
I know exactly what you're talking about because I'm the exact same way. But yeah, honestly, 100% honest. I'm going to keep it 100. I'm not lying. I'm not just keeping the cards close to my chest or anything. This series could go either way. And honestly, from where we are at right now, I don't think I can make a prediction, and you're probably in the exact same boat as me. But really quick, before we head on into a break, we want to give one more thank you to Latency. It's a tournament organizer and production company that provides various services and competitions to the competitive community. Reach out today and see how Latency can help you at latency with an 8 for the A.com. And with that, we will be right back with the grand finals, Bedwetters versus Absolute Units.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Frost Esports stream. We are here, Grand Finals, a rematch between the Bedwetters and Absolute Units. Best of 7, money on the line, prize pools here. Starcoin's still with me here. We've been losing our ever-loving minds over these games. Star, we've got one more series to just cap the entire night off. I don't think we could ask for a better one.
We cannot. I think this is the rightful grand finals. Bedwetters versus Absolute Units. In the winners final, Bedwetters came back in a reverse sweep against Absolute Units. So this is going to be a really great match. The best of 7 with a 1-game advantage. HUD, take it away.
$70 to the winner, $30 to second place, presented by Latency here. 5 minutes on the clock in Bedwetters. Absolute Units, a rematch for the Frost, the Snowstorm ages here in the grand finals. Who's going to be able to take it? Absolute Units dropping the reverse sweep in the winners final. They had a pretty decent win in the lower bracket to get back here, and the bounce shot from Antics is going to be goal number 1 for Absolute Units. They remember, they know what this feels like. They don't want to drop this first game, and they've got themselves on a great start here in game 1 or game 2. I guess it depends on how you look at it.
They know exactly what to do in the start of a series, because if you remember back in the last series, it was complete and utter domination on the side of Absolute Units, and then game 3 came along and it all switched up. And we might see something similar to that, or who knows, maybe Bedwetters will come back and just completely take this series in a sweep. Or maybe Absolute Units will just keep the pressure on, not let the reverse sweep happen, and they come all the way through to sweep Bedwetters. Right now, it's looking real nice for the Orange Squad.
Parson jumping out early here for Absolute Units. I think when Parson is actively involved in the offense for Absolute Units is just that much better. Every time we talk about him scoring clutch goals, he's done it twice now in 2 huge games. When he steps up and he's there to be able to fill in early on, I think it's a better start for Absolute Units. They're doing exactly that here already. A cycle for Parson, and we only just passed the first minute of gameplay, so really couldn't ask for a better start. There's another 2 demos for Antics, and Geoids coming in for the stop there, just barely in time on the respawn. But this is, we talked about it a little bit before. If Absolute Units could come out and remember what they were doing to counter Bedwetters, they would be in a good spot. But then another thing to consider here, Bedwetters have been sitting for a little bit. They're not quite as warmed up as Absolute Units, who have been playing since they got dropped down. Bedwetters have been waiting. They might be a little cold here. Might be a little bit of a warming up left to do for the Bedwetters, but the defense for Absolute Units needs no warming up. They are just there all the time. They've got the stops whenever they need to, and they've got a 2-0 lead right now, 3 minutes left.
There's Antics, the path up to Preston, bar down, it's actually gonna be out. Dathan gets just high enough to make that save. Crossed the 3-minute mark, 3 minutes to go now. So, one more shot, it gets met right on the ball. Now, looks like the pressure has been reversed. Bedwetters looking to get themselves on the attack. Doesn't look like it's going to stay like that for long. Soul staying behind that ball. Forces a 50, but Geoids comes out on top of it. Jathan back passes reveal. Not the best opportunity for the Bedwetters, and that will be one that they wish they had back. Because right now, Absolute Units starting to find their bearings and getting themselves back on the front foot. It's still in their half, but they are looking a lot more formal now.
Definitely having a better shape here. It's a great outlet here from Antics. He managed to shrug off the first defender. He had a lot of space, but one thing that I'm noticing here from the Bedwetters and something that Absolute Units is doing great, Parson is just kind of playing instigator all the way up. There's a big whiff on the pre-flip for Antics. It was a 0 boost, a desperation heave there, but one that I think we would expect Antics to hit, and instead it's going to be a wide open net on a defensive error that Soul's going to jump on instead. So the goal goes in eventually for Absolute Units one way or another, as Geo just can't quite handle that one. But Absolute Units have been relying on midfield pressure from Parson to shut down the offensive Bedwetters. Parson on the couple of progressions ago literally just hunting for demos in the midfield, and Bedwetters are aware of him, trying to find their way around him, and that's just putting them a step behind, allowing Absolute Units to get up in their face, not give them any space. Parson is really the linchpin for how great this forecheck for Absolute Units has been through this game number 2. And it's looking like Absolute Units are going to completely negate the one-game advantage that Bedwetters have. And they're on the best attack they could have to win this one. A 4th goal here, and they've not even let Bedwetters score 1.
And Reveal actually left the match. It looks like they want a new server.
Well, they can have a new server after this game is over.
They will have a new server after this game is over. Thank you, HUD. Yeah, they're gonna have to wait till after the game is over. And right now, with this win, Absolute Units turns this series into a brand new best of 5. And we know what happened last time. It was a best of 5 between Bedwetters and Absolute Units.
You know, Reveal can ask for a new server all he wants. They're just getting smacked right now. There's nothing. This isn't a server thing. This isn't a latency thing. Absolute Units have got Bedwetter's number here in game number 2, and it really is showing here. I'm calling them out. You can sit here and you can ask for a server remake and think that that's the thing that you need to win, and that's the reason why you're losing. But right now, you're just getting beat. Right now, Absolute Units is just beating you up and down the pitch. Another opportunity for Antics, almost able to work it through. Reveal's got the dunk, 36 seconds left, and Bedwetter's still not able to break through because it's just been that good. They're going to get through finally here. Jathan will have the first goal for Bedwetters. They've got themselves on the board and open the scoring for the grand finals in blue, but a little bit too late here to make a whole lot of a change in game 2.
Yeah, it is a little bit too late, but will the server reset help them? Like you said, you think this is all on them because right now they're just getting beaten. There's
absolutely.
a wide open net.
Just getting beat.
Yeah,
no amount of latency makes you be that far away from the net, you know? No amount of lag is going to be that out of position. That's just, it's just better. It's just better right now from Absolute Unit.
This isn't a server issue. This is a skill issue.
Yes.
Skill issue for Bedwetters, which is just what we saw in the last series. But will it stay like this? Because, of course, we saw what happened last time. It was the reverse sweep given up to Bedwetters for them to take the high road into the grand finals. And look at this. Antics, he is big. Antics not letting that ball go anywhere. He's been hitting the gym, keeping that ball in firm control. Oh, no.
Do they meme this kickoff? Do we get a Brazil? Do we really start this with a Brazil the other direction here? I don't know. I don't know if I can handle another. I think that might be too much for me. It might happen. Everybody goes for the kickoff. An opportunity here. Reveal's gonna kill it. Gonna put it down. Oh, yep, there it is. No Brazil here in game number 2. We're a goal away though. A close one. Absolute Units. A very, very strong win there in game number 2. The thing that I was thinking there at the very end is it was very apparent that Bedwetters weren't trying anymore. Is that there is they've got to make sure that they okay, Bedwetters. I need to close chat. Let's not dignify that with a response. Server change, you know, it can be good for kind of a timeout, like a reset of an opportunity to be able to come back in, get a little bit of a break and opportunity for momentum. But that last game win was not a server issue. That last game win was one team beating the other team very consistently. Absolute Units just need to make sure, and this is the point that I was going to get to before I got distracted by chat. They need to make sure they don't get ahead of themselves here. Because yes, it was a great game number 2 win. Bedwetters are still a phenomenal team, though. They can't already have the $70 prize pool booked in their head. Like, don't spend this money before you've got it, because you still have to beat Bedwetters 3 more times, and it's not an easy task for anybody.
Is really not. Bedwetters are a good team, but Absolute Units is just as good. Like you said, you don't want to spend your money before you got it. Don't count your chickens before the eggs hatch. And Bedwetters might just be doing that. They might be underestimating Absolute Units a little bit. And the Absolute Units are punishing them for it. They're a very solid team. And I think that's what happened in the first series between these two teams. Bedwetters came off of a very dominant performance, beating Audacity. with 2 Brazils in a row, and they started to play a little bit suppressed against absolute units. And then later on in the series, they started to get the flow going right off of kickoff. And this time, they get the flow going right off the kickoff.
That's a good start, and could not be a better start for Bedwetters here. I think they get the monkey off their back here a little bit, and maybe, the server reset here, an opportunity just to kind of collect themselves. Server reset, just a different term for a tactical timeout in this case, just a little bit, because the ping numbers haven't even changed. So, to call it a server issue, I think is maybe a little bit off base, but we can leave it. We're gonna stop talking about it. I'm going to stop talking about it because right now we've got bigger fish to fry as Geoids takes that one away from Parsons. It was a laser to the crossbar, but Geoid was able to get in front of it in time. Antics and Soul trying to find something cheeky there on the goal line. Couldn't quite connect. Now it's all the way downfield for Reveal. 0 boost attempt. Geoid pops it high to the backboard. Reveal's not going to be able to turn back in time, so it'll be a free ball for Soul. Rolls it up the sidewall. Parsons there. Nobody on the backboard. Taps it underneath. Where's the defense? Bedwetter's defense leaves this one open. Parson takes it away. A quick equalizer.
Very quick equalizer. The clutch man himself. Ice in his veins. Parson ties this match up 1 minute in. And just like that, we are all tied up. Parson with the equalizer. But can he get more? He has been clutch all night. Looks like it might be Soul, though, with the shot. But it gets saved away. Parson puts that one on target, but it's a little bit too far away, and Geoid makes that save. Now the ball's going all the way back to the orange half. Antics, quite a bit of boost in his tank. Looking to make something work, but it's going to be the dump off to Soul. He's going to take it to the corner. Looking to get it back towards the center, but it's going to be undercut by Jathan. And that forces the save to come off from Absolute Units, but we see the whiff in the air, the waterfall down, and that will be the clear. Dangerous spot for Absolute Units, but they get away with one for now.
Absolute Units definitely push back a little bit. They're doing a great job fighting off the bumps, and now a breakout opportunity. Parson taps it down. It was a tight angle. Going to be tough to score from there regardless, but a good shift downfield for Absolute Units. Now an opportunity here. Parson underneath. Ships it all the way to the corner. Antics in pursuit. Good power clear off the corner from Geoids, but it's met well by Soul. Parson with a shot to the backboard, and Jathan will take it away. A double commit very far up of high line run by Absolute. Hustle to get back. Soul coming in back post just in time with 100 boost in the tank. Now he's got 2 to beat. Gets it around Jathan and Geoids. An opportunity here. Looking for Reveal with a dunk in the demo, but can't quite come through. Halftime looming. We've got 1-1 between these two teams, and as much as there's a consternation over who's the better team right now, it's been punch for punch. Bedwetters have got themselves back in the lead.
It has been blow for blow, and just like that, the blow from Bedwetters lands, and now they are the team in the lead. Series scoreline is 1-1, so this match is pretty big. Of course, this puts your team in the lead of the series and establishes a little bit of control. And if Bedwetters can hold on to this goal, then they will be taking the lead in the series. But it's going to have to... They're going to have to hold on to it, which is a really difficult feat against a team like Absolute Units. Very solid team. And since their last series... And since their last match together, Absolute Units have become a little bit more well-rounded. They're getting themselves on the attack a little bit more, and they're playing a little bit, I wouldn't say more risky, but they're playing a little bit more well-balanced.
Yeah, definitely. It's looking a little bit more reined in here from both teams. I think Bedwetters are a little bit more respectful and a little bit more they acknowledge what Bedwetters have got in the tank, what they can pull out, and they're doing a great job covering everything off. That's a big demo from Reveal, but Geoids couldn't find the shot through the smoke screen. So now an opportunity for Soul to get something going in transition. 1:10 left. That one just passed Parson and can't cut it back in front of Geoids. Now an opportunity for Soul all the way downfield. Jathan, awkward spot, tight angle, off the post and out. What a terrible bounce for Absolute Units. The fourth man comes in clutch for Bedwetters. Woodwork makes the save, and 55 seconds left. Absolute Units still got to find one.
They do, and being on the back wall is not where you're going to find one. You got to reverse this pressure, get yourself on the front foot. Antics with an opportunity, though, gets met on the ball. That's Geoids making a great save. Parson, banger! Ice in his veins yet again. Absolute Units tie it up. 37 seconds to go. Who else but Parson?
There's just some things that are inevitable. We talk about death, we talk about taxes, you talk about Parsons scoring clutch goals. It has been something that is just, oh, it's a kickoff goal again! It literally is the exact same thing. How do they keep doing this? Parsons scores, ties it up, and then he scores a kickoff goal to give them the lead late in the game. How does it keep happening? It keeps happening. I don't know what's going on. I feel like I'm living Groundhog Day over and just in the course of this tournament, and it's just Parsons scoring goals over and over again. 33 seconds left, and Absolute Units are in the lead. How does this keep happening?
We live in a simulation. There's no other way to describe this. Parson looking for the fourth goal to cement this game 3 going in their way, but it does not happen. But still, 1 goal lead, they just have to hold on. 10 seconds to go, and the ball is going the wrong way for the Bedwetters. There's the demo on Jathan. It makes things even more difficult. Parson booming clear back to the blue half, and they got to keep it up. Parson looking to disrupt it, but it gets away from him. Not the best touch. Jathan trying to keep it away, but that will be the game. No one can get there, and that is it. Game number 3 going to Absolute Units. 2 games in a row now. And they are 2 games away from taking the tournament.
I've got something really snarky to say. Do you want to hear it?
I would love to hear it, Hud.
You think Bedwetters wants a server reset after that one? Maybe. If I was in game, I'd be asking them if they want a server reset after that one. But I'm gonna keep my mouth shut as far as that goes. I'm just saying that, I mean, you can call me clueless all you want, but I do this a lot, so it's fine. I've made it, I kept my cards very close to my chest at the beginning of the server. If it's not clear who I want, who I'm pulling for here, it should be pretty obvious to all of you now. Absolute Units, they're getting it done. Parson continues to blow my mind, like scoring like it's been pre-animated, scoring like this has all been kind of laid out, and he's just doing the same, like he's hitting the same button on his like stream deck to do the score the equalizer, score on the kickoff thing over and over and over again. Like he's got that bound to a macro. I don't know how he keeps doing it, but we've got a lead here in the grand finals. Absolute Units 2 in a row. Not only have they negated the game advantage, now they've got the series lead. They just got to win 2 more, and they're going to have a crisp $70 in their pocket. And the Bedwetters just let it slip away. I mean, they had that one in the bag for a while, and then Absolute Units just kind of came out of nowhere.
I'm going to stop you right there. Parson came out of nowhere.
Very
Parson
true.
Gets 2 goals in a row again. It's not like it's happened 1 time or 2 times. 3 times in 1 tournament. Having this happen 3 times in an entire season, that's a bit weird, but 3 times in 1 tournament is almost unheard of until now. Parson has done it 3 times where he scores once to tie it up and then scores a kickoff goal to take the lead with like 10 seconds to go. It is absolutely outrageous. We might be seeing it again for a 4th time, or we might not be. Absolute Units might just have enough control over this game and over this series to just keep the pressure on and not even need a last-second goal.
Parson scored 4 goals in a row now. Soul just feeds him. Parson's there. It looks automatic for Absolute Units. When it's firing, when they're on it, they are absolutely unbeatable. It's just we talked about it a little bit in the last series in the lower finals. They score in bunches, and when they can find a way to put those bunches together in a way that works for them, like Parson scoring equalizers and kickoff goals back to back, that's great. But when they don't, they hit these huge droughts, and they really let momentum swing the other way, which is why a lot of these games have been close, and I think that's what led to that reverse sweep for Bedwetters in the winners final to begin with. But now Absolute Units starting to try to tighten it up a little bit. That's a little bit of a miscommunication there, but they've got a 1-goal lead here, trying to protect some low boost maybe. It really just is a waiting game almost for Absolute Units. They've got to find a way to make it so that way they're not waiting for that next pop of a couple of goals all at once. And they've got to find a way just to make their offense a little bit more consistent, because then they'll, we won't be sitting here biting our fingernails until overtime of Game 7.
Yeah, we will have to see. And so far, this game has been Demolition City. It's been absolutely outrageous, the number of bumps and demos. These two teams are getting angry, and they are getting brutal. Here's Soul, double tap, automatic. We saw it coming from halfway down the field, just like that. Absolute Units go up by 2. Beautiful carry by Soul HUD. Absolute Units starting to firmly control this series.
They're doing something really interesting where they're really letting bedwetters come pretty deep into their zone. And then they just find these pop outlet passes, and bedwetters are so slow getting back in the rotation. They're committing so... I don't know. Why?
Unfortunate.
Why? Why?
That...
Explain it to me. Why?
91 miles per hour from 3/4 of the way down the pitch. Unreal. That is absolutely insane levels.
I'll say they almost just had a taste of their own medicine there. Almost conceded a lead off of a kickoff goal. But sorry, you go back to what you were saying. I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's fine. This has just been comedic with how textbook this tournament has been. Like, I've never seen anything like this. So many things have happened so many times. I mean, we saw 2 Brazils. We saw 3 times!
How did that almost go in?
How did that not go in? Parson has just enough in his car on the body of his engine to keep that one out. I have no idea how he's able to do this. This is absolutely unreal now. But with that save, Absolute Units keep themselves in the lead. They keep themselves control in this series. And now with 2 minutes to go, bedwetters are still trailing, and they got to get one more on the board to tie this up.
Oh my god, the midfield is just so good from Absolute Units. They've had the forecheck locked in. They're doing a great job of finding those outlets. Reveal almost makes them pay for the high line, though. Just can't quite connect on the bump. A little bit of a double commit there. Is this going to work out? Oh my gosh. Oh my god. I can't believe that didn't go in. Absolute Units getting cheesed by the crossbar yet again. Antics is going to be back for the save, but Absolute Units doesn't look like they're too phased by the fact that they've had a couple of cheeky woodwork stops there for bedwetters. They're just going to keep getting after it until they finally get one to go in.
You always got to thank the 4th car on the field, the goalpost and the crossbar. It is just outrageous how many goals can be shut down due to a goalpost or a crossbar. That one not shut down by the goalpost. However, it is shut down by Reveal. 1 minute to go, and right now, Absolute Units still in control of the tempo. There's Parson trying to take it up the wall, but that one gets taken away by Geoids. Misses the touch on the ground, and Reveal with a shot. Edges it down. Dangerous spot for Absolute Union, but they hold on for now. Jathan, great cut. Antics going to get there first. And that ball will be going back to the blue half.
Oh. No free space at all. Bumps coming through. A hand in the face of every touch. Absolute Units closing down on every avenue that bedwetters have got to get out. They're holding on to this lead. 20 seconds left. Can they close it out here in game number 4 to put themselves on match point? The good clear from Parson, a save coast to coast. That's a big whiff, though. Jathan is going to make it 2-on-1. Antics gets over the demo and is there for the save. A critical stop from Antics, and now he's going to play the slow game. Gives it away. Soul will punt it long, and that one is going to put zeros on the clock. Absolute Units move themselves to match point.
That was really, really close. Absolute Units almost dropped that match. When they had it in their fingertips, the grip was just closing and it almost slipped away, but it didn't. Absolute Units managed to hold on. Antics somehow avoided that demo, which would have for sure been a goal if the demo came through, but it just didn't. Bedwetters down by 2. They're going to need a reverse sweep, which has not happened in the grand finals of a Frost Esports tournament. So Bedwetters going to have to make history here if they want to take home the championship.
And not only they need a reverse sweep, but they've already got a win in the bag. Like, they've already got they've made one step, but right now, Absolute Units have we've been saying this all night, they just have found the counters for Bedwetters. They've gotten it done, and now this is a critical point in this series. Absolute Units, I feel like, have got to win this game. If they can't put it away here in game number 5, Bedwetters are going to have every chance to be able to build that momentum back, and you're going to start to see the panic come in from Absolute Units, because they're going to be like, oh my god, we've been here before. This is, it's happening again. Absolute Units have got to win this game number 5. They've got to take this series in 5 games if they want to give themselves, obviously, the best shot at being able to take it, because they're just going to win it in 5 if they do. But Bedwetters, they haven't been firing at full capacity in this series so far. I think a lot of it comes down to the great forechecking of Absolute Units, really keeping them from being able to get onto the front foot. That's a big double commit. The bump, the demo from Antics. Parson puts it in. Absolute Units just right back at it. Same old, same song, different verse.
Parson, once again, opens up the scoring, and Absolute Units take the lead. The predictions are in. 100% of the vote going to Absolute Units. Twitch chat, you're looking pretty hot right about now, because the scoreline is 3-1 in favor of Absolute Units, and the Bedwetters gonna need another reverse sweep.
Bedwetter's really looking for a lot of these long pot shots. It's not worked out for them great because a lot of them aren't even on target. And the defense for Absolute Units is so great at being able to cover everything up. This one's wide open for Soul. It's automatic. There's not a blue defender in the blue half when this ball goes in, because Reveal's caught dead to rights. Jathan's not going to be able to do anything there. It's easy for Absolute Units. And man, maybe that first server would have been a good one to stay on for Bedwetters.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, did I say that again?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh my
no.
Goodness. The server is not helping Bedwetters out at all. And neither is HUD X, my glorious co-caster.
I know we're not supposed to be biased here, but I'm sorry. It's showing a little bit. It's okay. It's okay.
A little bit.
It's all right. I mean, they're backing it up right now. I'm glad that I'm backing them, and they're showing out right now, because I look really. They just kind of started dropping things right after I started gassing them up. But Absolute Units are really doing a fantastic job here. They've come from behind. I mean, I think, we talked a little bit about underdogs and who we expected to win series before. This very much is Absolute Units coming through and saying, hey, you got us the time. It's not going to happen. Oh, what a save! How did he get that? Literally the entire net for Geoids to shoot at, and Parsons still finds a way to close it out. They've just got it locked down. It's come a full circle here. A full download from Bedwetters, and now Absolute Units turning it right back on its head.
Bedwetters, they must be having nightmares about Parson. That can explain why the bet is wed. But man, Parson has been out of control this entire series, this entire tournament. Parson has completely stole the show, and he went from a guy that we did not even say his name once in the first game. And it seems like every game since, we have said it at least 3 times.
And we've not just said it, we've yelled it, because he's done something huge. He's done something critical for Absolute Units, and it absolutely has kept them in this series. Antics is going to get one just barely past Jathan on the save there, keeps it away on the dunk. Reveal trying to find something, but still it's Absolute Units throwing everything they've got at it. Somebody's even back to defend the Cuck's pinch attempt from Geoids. Soul gets a 50 downfield, a dangerous spot here. Geoids with a giveaway, and Parson is there. Who else? 3 goals for Absolute Units, a minute 40 left, and this could be the end of the tournament. Absolute Units on top.
There are 3 things guaranteed in this life, Mr. HUD-X. Death, taxes, and Parson ending Rocket League games. Bedwetters are playing out of desperation. There is just nothing that they can do. 1 minute and 30 left on the clock, but there is just nothing that they can do.
Nobody's even up there to challenge. Where's the challenge? Where's the urgency from Bedwetters right now? I mean, they're not. It doesn't even look like they're trying to win this one. They're sitting so far back, looking for the solo plays. Soul's got it red the entire way through. It just isn't going to work. Bedwetters cannot find a win here like this. They've got to change it up because Absolute Units have got them closed down. Jathan's shot is wide, and the trend continues here. Bedwetters just trying to find something flashy, and they can't even hit the net.
They can. It's always just a little bit too far off. But like I was saying, Bedwetters playing completely deflated, but reveal. The team pass coming from Jathan gets Bedwetters on the board, but is it too late? 43 seconds, down by 2. And now, Bedwetters have an opportunity, but this isn't a one game and done. They have to win several in a row. They're going to have to win 2 in a row if they come away with this win. And that's just not feasible in my opinion. 30 seconds left. Parson. One more! Parson to regain the 3-goal lead. The hat trick is secured, and that will be it. Tournament goes to Absolute Units. I'm tired of saying it. That's it.
29 seconds left with 3 goals. I can't disagree with you. I think that any of you would be insane to disagree at this point with just how much we've seen out of this team. Reveal's going to drop it down. Parson makes a stop. Geoid's going to sneak it in, but they've killed another 10 seconds off the clock here. 19 seconds left. Another goal comes through, but you know, there's just the door is closing so quickly. That daylight is receding so rapidly here. Bedwetters are going to have to find another quick one here off the kickoff. Otherwise, it's just starting to, the time is not going to be on their side, especially down 2 goals. Soul to the backboard. Where's Parson? Where's Parson? Oh, it's Antics this time. He's going to bounce it in. Everybody was looking for Parson. Even I was looking for Parson, and Antics sneaks it through on the bouncer. It's over. It's over. Like, can we?
This game's over. This game's over. This tournament's over. Absolute Units come back from the reverse sweep and give a sweep of their own. 4 games straight. The scoreline is 4-1, but that is simply because of the 1-game advantage. Man, what a tournament, what a game, what a performance.
Play to the end. Play to the end. Don't leave. Say GG's in the chat. Be a big boy. It's Absolute Units, the biggest boys on the block right now, though. $70 into the pockets coming up from the lower bracket. Absolute Units gets it done with the sweep. A star. I am so excited that this is how this ended, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah, Absolute Units held on until the very end, and Bedwetters just could not keep up. And man, what a grand finals. I do not think that could have gone any better. That was the right way for the tournament to end. We are in the correct timeline, and I do want to say one thing. No server.
No server? No server. He leans into the camera for the meme. I've enjoyed this very much. I didn't mean for it to get quite as salty as it did immediately, but it's just chat sets me off sometimes, so it's fine. At the end of the day, it all comes down to absolutely getting it done. The nice spinny trophy there in the middle, all that we have to focus on, and the $70 in the pockets of Absolute Units. $30 go to the other side of Bedwetters, who also had a phenomenal series, but I remember saying when we were talking about it after they finished after Bedwetters finished wiping the floor with absolute units, not wiping the floor, but beating them earlier, that if we got to this grand finals, that I think Bedwetters would take it because of the way that they reverse swept absolute units. I think that Bedwetters, coming into this with all of the things that we had seen, Bedwetters was the logical choice. But absolute units, man, they came out, they looked different. They really did, and they took it to them 4 games in a row to win. There's not a better way to cap off a tournament.
It really is not. And of course, these are all just Stokes. Bedwetters is an amazing team.
Absolutely.
We cannot fault them for that at all. Of course, we'd like to take the jokes and run with it, but in all seriousness, Bedwetters is an amazing team, 3 amazing players, but today they just could not get it done. Absolute units wanted it a little bit more, and they took it. They came into the grand finals learning from their mistakes in the winners final, and they capitalized on it, and they completely shut the Bedwetters down. And just like that, the tournament's over. Absolute units take the series in 4, or take the series in 5, thanks to the 1 game advantage. But it does not matter. The 1 game advantage was not enough. And absolute units take the series. And one more time before we head off, we want to give another huge shout out to our sponsor, Latency. Latency is a tournament organizer and production company that provides various different services and competitions to the competitive community. You can reach out today and see how Latency can help you at latency with an A, or with an 8 for the A.com. And that's all from me, HUD. You got anything else you want to say?
No, I feel like I should probably keep my mouth shut before I say something else that incenses somebody in chat. But I do want to thank Nick in the back with all the production, pushing all the buttons. He's the best button pusher around. I've also been bullying him a little bit tonight. It's just been kind of a night where I've been feeling a little salty. It's fine. But all love to Nick for keeping everything held down. For all the players tonight, these tournaments can be a slog to get all the way through because they start even before we start casting. So it's a long run to get here. So GG's to everybody that shows up, shows out every week for these tournaments for Frost. And no, I think that this has honestly been my favorite Frost tournament that I've cast so far. So big shout outs to everybody involved. Star, great working with you as always, but I think that's where we'll end it for tonight. And if you don't want to say anything, do you want to add? Oh, wait, Nick, don't.